was a note on the refrigerator door telling my husband and I to go to the hospital because my mother was there. And I didn't think anything of it, sisters and brothers, because my mother had a history of high blood pressure, and I just thought it was just one of those things. But little did I know that that day was going to be a defining day for me. When I got to the hospital with my husband, all of my siblings were already there, and I have a brother who is 6 feet 5 inches tall. And when I went to the room, I saw all of my siblings crying, and I had not seen my brother cry since he was a little boy. The doctor came into the room and she said, "Family, I hate to inform you, but your mother is in a coma." And I asked the doctor, could I go to the room where a mother who was imperfect did everything that she could to try to raise 7 children for the most of our lives, all alone. When I got there, I saw that my mother's eyes were rolled to the back of her head and her tongue was hanging out of the left side of her mouth. And as I analyzed her clothing, I noticed that the paramedics had cut her clothing from her body. And I could no longer contain myself as the oldest child, as tears started to stream down.
We love you, Mary.
My mother was an evangelist. And so my siblings and I just believed that God was going to work with me. But the doctor came to me as the oldest child and said that only this machine that is by your mother's bedside is the only thing that is keeping her alive. And you have to make the decision about when to pull the plug on her. And oh, by the way, do you want to donate her organs? Sisters and brothers, I can tell you that I thought that that was the worst day in my life, that I would never recover from that day. But as sure as there is a God in heaven, I asked the creator of this universe to give me strength. And that if he gave me strength, that I would become a cycle breaker for my mother's memory. So not only did my mother die at the young age of 42 years old, with her dreams deferred, and my baby sister was 12 years old. She died on the system of welfare. She had no money in the bank. She didn't even have a life insurance policy. 7 children, all of us babies, in a way. But sisters and brothers, how I got over my soul does look back and wonder. God gave me strength and he sent good people by my way. And not only did I become a cycle worker, I said, Lord, I'm going to break the cycle of undereducation and poverty in my family's line for my mother's memory. And although she never lived to see her eldest daughter walk across stages and get fancy degrees, she never lived to see her eldest daughter sworn into offices. She never lived to see her oldest daughter be able to work on one of the most magnificent insurgent candidacies in the history of this country. I know that she is in heaven saying, you go, girl, and you keep the fight. And so, in terms of a work worth doing, I stand here before you as a servant, knowing that the work worth doing is about us coming together and moving forward for purposes that are bigger than ourselves. That is the work we're doing. So, when you see a sister on TV going ham, the young folks know what ham means. Just ask a millennial, they can tell you. You know a little bit about why I have such passion in my heart and why I fight and I fight hard. Nothing else that happens in my life can be more impactful than what happened when my mother left this plane of existence. In other words, I can take on anything else that happens. But in terms of standing up for people who we may not know every day what people are going through, but every day somebody has a story, something is going on in their lives, and we are the closest thing that many people have to finding goodness. And we have to lift one another even when we disagree on issues or candidates. We have to come together to do the work that is worth doing. We can do that. We will do that. So my 3 things that I will leave you with this morning. Now, sister, I had a little bit of coffee, but I'm I'm feeling very energized today. I could run around this room. It wouldn't be a pretty sight. But 3 things. Number 1, I believe that the Creator of this great universe has given us 2 hands. One to reach forward and one to reach back, lifting as we climb. We are our sisters and our brothers' keepers, no matter what the folks on the other side say. We need each other. We all live in poverty. I understand what it means to have policymakers in place and people who understand that everybody doesn't run the race at the same pace. That we need to have mercy on one another and not be so judgmental. And this is not necessarily about the Democratic Party as a party. It is about us, the people. The people. We make the party. And we have to live up to the creed of that. Number 2, and most importantly now, we can't ask other folks to do more for us than we are willing to do for ourselves. Now, Brother Frederick Douglass put it this way. He says, you might not get everything that you work for, but you will work for everything that you get. You understand that? You got that? We are Americans. We got that. And why do I say work worth doing? It's because historically as a nation, we have been a nation of progress. Even in all of our imperfections, we have been willing to move forward. We cannot allow anybody to take us back. Progress is the way to go, and work worth doing. But lastly, in the words of my grandmother. My grandmother was held in the South. She was born in 1913. She could not read or write, but sisters and brothers, but mainly to my sister, she could count her money. And she kept her money in the Southern Ladies Banking Trust.
Right.
You know that bank account was okay. Even though my grandmother did not have a formal education, she had what we call in the African American community motherwit. She was one of the smartest women I have ever known. And if not for the fact that she was born in 1913, that she was robbed because she was an African American woman, you all understand our history. But she had this fierceness about her. She was about yay tall. When she walked in the room, you thought a giant was coming in the room. She understood who she was. Even though at times America didn't understand who she was. When I asked my grandmother, what does it take to be successful? She said, Nina, all you need in this life are the 3 bones. The wishbone, the jawbone, and the backbone. She said the wishbone will keep you hoping and praying because hope is the motivator, but the dream is the driver. The reason why we do both collectively and individually the things that we do is because we hope and believe that tomorrow will be better than today. She said the jawbone will give us courage to speak truth, to power, to lift your voice even when it's unpopular. We gotta do that. That is what makes America as great as it is because you have everyday people speaking that truth all across this country. That is a beautiful thing. But Grandma said the most important bone of them all, the superfragility, expialidocious bone, is the backbone. Because the backbone will keep us standing through all of our trials and our tribulations. And sisters and brothers, can I just say this to you this morning? We cannot have a testimony without a test. And we are being tested. Whether or not we have courage enough and hope enough and empathy enough and love enough and oomph enough to do what is necessary in our moments. Titles are good, but purpose is better. In other words, Dr. King said it this way. He said we all can be great because we all can serve. Titles are good, but purpose is better. And I don't want you to be discouraged because we can do this together, collectively, even with all of the tension. I describe this convention cycle so far as protest and promise. Woohoo! And it is the tension between protest and promise that will get us where we need Bible is important. We heard Congressman Ellison talk about that. We cannot only get caught up with the shiny object. Legislatures are important. Governors are important. Secretary of States are important. Council people are important. Mayors are important. We gotta go every single time. Every single time. We gotta organize and we gotta go. The greatest equalizer in this nation is one woman, one vote. So I want you to take what President Teddy Roosevelt said, a work worth doing, and just word it every single day. But closing out with Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, when she said what the people want is simple. They want an America as good as its promise. An America as good as its promise. Protest and promise. And that's where Democrats come in. And we're going to continue to work to make America what it can, should be for lottie-dottie and everybody, as my grandma used to say, in this country. I want you to take my grandma's 3 bones, the wishbone, jawbone, backbone, do the daggone thing. Let's do the work worth doing together. God bless you.